Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to start off this video a little bit different from what I usually do for my intros, which is in the field. And I want to give you a bit of context in the background for the video that you're going to see, which is at Wells Gray Provincial Park for the waterfalls that I shot all without a tripod. Why without a tripod, you ask? Because I'm an idiot. That's pretty much it. No, I'm joking. Really, honestly, I had planned, this was actually kind of a last minute plan for me to head out camping with Connor and his brother and a friend of his to go out to Wells Gray, and it was within the week. So on a, last minute thing, I should be able to have everything packed in my photography bag, grab everything other than charging my batteries and making sure I have enough SD cards, wipes, things like that. I would usually grab everything and just go. And that was the case. I don't usually write checklists. I don't usually, make sure to, remember. I just know after doing it for many years, I know the things that I need and I know the things that I don't need. And if I forget, maybe an extra SD or a lens wipe or something, it's not the end of the world. But a tripod is so important. Like this, when you're going out to photograph waterfalls or doing long exposure of any kind, you need a tripod. So I know this, and for some reason it just didn't go through. I didn't do it, and when we got to the campground and we parked, and it's a 5-hour drive away, so it's not like I can turn around or go to a store there. There's nothing around. We're in the middle of nowhere in a campsite. So we get to this park, I open the car door, I grab my bag, and I just start getting excited because I'm unpacking, like looking through my photography backpack, trying to make sure I have a checklist of where everything is. And next thing I know, I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. And I was missing my tripod. And I was crushed. Like the whole trip, I just was like, well, now I'm done. What's the point? I'm defeated. What's the point of actually doing this stuff if I'm not gonna get the shots I want? I don't have the, variety of compositions I wanna get. If I have to stay low, and technically it's not too bad because waterfalls tend to be a little bit easy. You need just long exposure and the water can be low, and you want to kind of get a wide lens anyways. Doesn't really limit you that much, but the stability that a tripod gives you to, move your camera and maneuver in a way that you wouldn't normally get if you were just balancing it on a rock, like I was. So yeah, it kind of left me with, scrambling, kind of figuring out everything I needed to do. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. For the footage that I do have, I have to mention that I don't have footage of all the waterfalls we visited, only because the first waterfall we went to the first day, I actually didn't bring my vlogging gear. But the next day after that, because we were there for 3 nights, the next day after that I kind of was more proactive about it after I got over my little bit of a downer attitude with not having my tripod. But I tried to get as much variety from the shots as possible. The waterfalls being quite, if the spray wasn't affecting me, I got as close as I could. I tried different angles, and for a majority of those shots it was actually pretty okay. Other than the waterfalls, which you'll see, it's Saffitz Falls and Helmkin, the most popular and most well-known waterfall in Wells Gray Provincial Park. Helmkin was really, really difficult because there's no place that you can really balance your camera at the angle that you want to get. There is a viewpoint, but the only problem with that is that I had a telephoto as well as an ND filter that I have to pop onto my lens, and that really scared me because I would have to balance it quite a lot, and I had to put my telephoto over the railing of the wooden ramp that is the viewpoint. So it kind of freaked me out, and I didn't want to try my luck too much because I forgot my tripod, so I was like, what else am I gonna lose or forget or whatever? So I kind of wanted to play it safe. Overall, I think the trip did turn out well. We got a lot of exploring, we got a lot of beautiful waterfalls, and I don't regret it much other than having, making sure I make a checklist for next time. And yeah, even though it seems stupid, make a checklist. Check your things twice, 3 times, whatever you need to do. Best thing you can do is make sure you don't forget something, especially when you're going on a road trip and you can't just turn around and get it back at home or a store that's nearby. Those limitations you have to consider and plan well. So it's a lesson for me, and I'm sharing it with you guys. and hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please like, subscribe, and then honestly, I'd really like to hear your comments if any of you have ever had a disaster or a blunder of some sort that you thought would curtail your plans and ruin your trip. I'd love to hear it, because what did you learn out of it? You know, like what did you come out of it? What was the good that you got out of the pain and the bad? So I'd love to hear that, and thanks again. Until next time.
Wells Gray Provincial Park is a large wilderness park located in east-central BC, Canada. The park protects most of the southern and highest regions of the Cariboo Mountains and covers 5,250 square kilometers. It is BC's fourth largest park. I stayed at the Clearwater Lake and Falls Creek campground. I'd never visited before, so it was a high priority to see as many waterfalls as possible during the 3-day trip. We started with the waterfalls located near the entrance of the park. I've provided a link to the waterfalls in the description below. The first waterfall we visited was Triple Decker Falls, which had a fairly straightforward hike towards it. This is a 3-shot pano that I took, as the waterfalls is quite tall, but very grand in real life. We then visited Mole Falls, which is not that long of a hike, but it does have steep sections along the trail. The waterfall reminded me of Skogafoss in Iceland, as you were able to walk around and behind Mole Falls. I managed to snap a photo of Connor and edited out the people walking around the area. After hiking back up the steep staircase from Mole Falls, we went along to check out McDiarmid Falls. It was an uneventful hike in the forest, but once I caught a glimpse of the waterfall, I was adamant to get down for a closer look. Now, like I mentioned earlier in this video, I forgot my tripod, so this was the moment of truth. How would I capture this beautiful waterfall without a tripod? Luckily, I managed to find a low angle to balance my camera on a sturdy rock. Look at that smooth, buttery goodness of the water. I can't say it's tack sharp, but I'll take it. Now, another impressive waterfall amongst the few we had seen was Silvertip Falls. The hike was super easy, and the falls themselves offer so many great compositions. According to another hiker, you could even keep going to the very top of the waterfalls. Even though we didn't attempt it this time, I could just imagine how amazing the views would be from there, especially during sunrise or sunset. here are what I would say are my two favorite photos from the trip, both at the lower end of the falls. Again, when you forget your tripod, like I did, a pro tip is to use a nice flat rock for stability, and maybe even a shutter release. I'd love to hear your feedback, so please leave your comments below for the photos. The last and most recognizable waterfall in Wells Gray Provincial Park is Helmkin Falls. I managed to stitch a 3-shot pano of the waterfalls while balancing my expensive telephoto lens on the railing and hoping that my Nisi ND filter wouldn't fall to its ultimate death. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. On our last day at Wells Gray, after exploring some more waterfalls, we also managed to stop by Bailey's Chute, which is where Chinook salmon travel over 600 kilometers through lakes, up heavy rapids and strong currents, and against natural predators to their spawning ground. The best time to view these salmon would be early morning and evening in early September. And don't forget your tripod when going to take pictures of waterfalls.